What do you see on the screen in the picture? Who will tell me? What is this? What is this system? Yeah, good. Which type of viewer is this? Very good. Okay. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and around 50 aerials. Okay. And one small one in the center, you can see here. We have 50 aerials. This is a VOR setup. If you remember the chapter of VOR, I was continuously saying something called DME. DME is located, co-located, and also I include that in ILS also. That DME is co-located. What is DME? Today we are going to understand. So DME is right here in the center, this white area. Okay. If you want to look closely, this looks like this. That this is the DME. Now, of course, DME is used to measure distance. The full form itself is that distance measuring equipment. Very simple. Okay. The principle of operation is written here. It's the secondary radar system using the pulse technique. Of course, the radars use the pulse technique. So this is the secondary radar system. Now, if you have understood SSR, that is secondary surveillance radar, then this chapter will be very easy for you. If you've not, then you'll have to consider it more. The concept of SSR, let's go back a little. If you go back to the yesterday lecture, we understood that SSR on ground, the radar system sends out a signal on a frequency 1. If there's an aircraft in air, the aircraft will receive it. After a gap of 50 microseconds, it will send the signal back to the station. This is the station. This is the aircraft, right? This will be a frequency number 2. Frequency number 2 will also be sent with pulses. Pulses will have information. Information can be anything depending on the mode. Okay. Now, if you go back to the class, I also told you something else. That the station in this whole system is known as interrogator, right? Remember the example of police wala? I explained you that if the police wala is present here, police wala will interrogate police person, the person will interrogate ki bhai, who is all around me. Then this person will stand up and say, I am around you. That is how they will send the signal and they will try to contact, they will start communicating. So the aircraft becomes the transponder in this case. In your DME, there is a small difference between this. The system remains the same because it's a secondary radar system, right? This whole system is a secondary radar system. But in your DME, the aircraft becomes the interrogator. So the police wala is in the aircraft and it is the one who will ask the question, who is around me? So it is the one who will send out the signal first, that is the frequency 1, to the DME station. Station is on ground, it is known as transponder. Okay, transponder will take its time of 50 microsecond again, and it will send out a signal on a different frequency F2. System remains same, but there's a difference of interrogator and transponder. Please remember this point very well before you proceed to the depth of this chapter. This is the transponder in this case. Okay, remember it. Okay, we understood this. There was also something else. Frequency 1 was 1030 megahertz. Frequency 2 was 1090 megahertz. And you remember it was fixed. The difference came in with the allocated code. There was a code, transponder code. Okay, it could be mode as mode. In the case of DME, the frequency remains different. Okay, it will vary. I'll explain you the frequency. It will vary. Okay, frequency F1 and F2 will vary also. But there is no code here. There is no code here. Then what is the difference? The difference comes in the pulse. The pulse which is sent out by the aircraft, it will be in a random distributed order. This random distributed order, because the aircraft has sent, it will know what is the random distributed order or the unique order in which the pulse is sent. If if the same order returns to the aircraft from the station. I repeat, if the same unique order of the pulses returns from the station to the aircraft, it will accept it. It will accept it and the communication will be established. If the pulse order is different than what it had sent, it will not accept it. And that is how the system becomes unique. And that is how every aircraft individually will have an individual. Okay. Who did not understand this? I think everyone did. Good. Arkdeep, can you hear me? I think no one's. All right. Let me erase this. I have already told you all this. One more thing which I would like to tell you is there that the DME will always provide you the slant distance. It will never be able to provide you the actual ground distance. So to be able to calculate the actual ground distance, you will be using your Pythagoras theorem. Okay, you will be using that Pythagoras theorem. So how do the pilots use it? Now I know technically how it works. Okay, overview, I know how it works, but how the pilots will use it? Simple. I told you in your VOR chapter that VOR DME can be coupled. So if I put in the VOR frequency, suppose that the frequency of VOR is 1.2.3 megahertz, right? I put it into my nav, okay, nav panel. I put it in the nav common. Now you can see the aircraft will start to send out signals. Okay, you can see the blue one, and you can see clearly that the pulses are randomly placed. The pulses are randomly placed. The aircraft only knows it. If the return signal is also randomly placed in the same region, same unique code, okay, then only the aircraft will receive it and the connection will be established and the aircraft will be able to receive the range. In this case, it's 92.4 nautical miles. You can see the display is here. And that is always the slant range. Okay. You can see here, everything is clear in this picture.